talking with wedding photographer Adam Mason. He'll share his approach to wedding photography and why it's so important to find a photographer that fits your vibe. Let's meet Adam.
My business is Mason Photography. I'm a wedding photographer who exists to eliminate fear, create connection, and help people become fulfilled in who they are and who they're becoming. And so I think, especially in DC, there's a need for like authenticity and, a value in the things that are going to last forever, which are photos, and everything else is just material. I was still in college, and then a couple was like, hey, we're getting married and we don't have a huge budget. Would you shoot our wedding? And I said, sure. And I took it seriously. And it was a blast. It was an absolute blast. It was so cool. I'm an extrovert. So weddings are just really, really fun. And I think too, every single one has given me an opportunity to meet different people and different stories. And, as a straight white dude, just to learn perspective and, kind of reveal light inside some of the shadows of my own perspective that I might never seen. My mission and vision is, again, to eliminate fear, create connection, and help people become fulfilled. And that I realize now is just separate from photography. And that's like who Adam wants to be forever. Now with weddings, I just get to see so many different flavors of life and slices and just different stories. And all of them are unique and fun. And I get to be there for this multiple one-time happening things ever. All these things will only happen once, and I get to be at all of them, which is really, really cool. When you're trying to find a photographer who, fits your style, fits your budget, of course, the main things we always talk about is when it comes to the budget is I try to encourage couples to just think about, hey, because this will last forever, let's try to make sure that you can get something you're going to love forever. I love color. I'm addicted to color. I'm addicted to kind of impact. I try to do kind of day in the life when it comes to engagement sessions and just letting couples be themselves, whatever it is. I've had engagement sessions where couples are like, we love running by the Lincoln. We love the monument. We love watching Netflix with our cat. I'm down with anything. And as long as it is true to you and not something that feels like an outside pressure or anything like that. Photographer, most wedding days nowadays, they're gonna spend all day with you. And so it's so important just to kind of have somebody that fits your vibe, understand what's going on, look at full weddings. That's the number one thing to get a sense of a photographer is look at their consistency. The photographer's with you the whole day, and every other vendor only gets a slice of you, but the photographer gets the largest portion. And, just consider that both in relationship and style and what kind of wedding day you're planning. So for me, about 2 or 3 years ago, I got to go to Ethiopia and got to go and create marketing level images for this nonprofit that does education and child sponsorship in Ethiopia. And it was just so incredible. And again, it aligned with the wedding photography mission of diving into stories and getting to learn more about just peoples and cultures that I never would normally go to. But then at the same time, I was creating images that they were even more fulfilling. They took a risk on me, and I felt so good that it worked out, and it's still helping them to this day. And it's really, really fun. And it's helped, children get sponsored. It's helped schools be built in Ethiopia. And so I think that for me is my favorite project. I've been there twice now and hope to go back there again. My biggest thing is what I said is, obviously be thorough, read contracts, and some vendors are going to be a little bit more flexible than others. I know photographers, you could, as long as it's the same, year or so, I'm pretty flexible. I'll reschedule, almost anything with no charge or anything like that, as long as the package price stays the same. So be sure to reach out, asking for real answers. I'll be real with every couple. And I feel like most vendors should be. That would be my number one. And then two, if you already have vendors, try to reschedule. Be as open and communicative with them, because you're only dealing with them one-to-one, but for us, I'm rescheduling, 40 people, right? 50 people. We're in conversation with so many different couples at the same time that might want your date. And so I have some couples who are taking a little bit more time, and I'd say, hey, I'd rather have us talk about this now. We decided that we wanted to have our wedding be welcoming to all the circles of life that we had included. And so there's nothing more welcoming, at least in America, than pizza. And so we wanted to have pizza as like our main meal. And, some parents were definitely riled up about that. And, definitely were like, oh, well, your food has to be proportionate, these old traditions. Your food has to be, the same cost as what you expect in gifts. And it was not, obviously. Just do you. Like, I've had lots of couples who have been like, oh, we could do pizza too, because Adam and Sarah did it, and it gave couples permission to be themselves.